The Fuji X100VI has a real problem. Hey there everybody, how's it going? Nice to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. So, the keen-eyed observer will notice that in my hot little hands here is not an X100VI. This is my X100II, or S for second. And this is the oldest Fuji camera I own. I bought this brand new in 2013, back when nobody really knew what an X100 was. And this camera was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. It takes great images. The drawbacks to this camera are that it takes these weird little tiny batteries. So I mean, Fuji was experimenting with stuff and whatever, and the interface wasn't really fleshed out yet. I mean, this is like one of the second or third, I think this was right after the X Pro 1, or maybe it was right before. Anyway, Fuji hadn't really figured out their interface yet, and they really hadn't figured out like what they wanted to do. They were still trying stuff. So I mean, it's got a wheel and a push button on the back instead of a D-pad. I mean, a lot of controls on the back there. I don't know if you can see that. And that was kind of cool. But anyway, so this isn't about the X100S, all right? Even though ridiculously, I can sell this camera for, I think last time I checked, like 5 years ago or 3 or 4 years ago, like these cameras were selling like $600 and $700 and $800, which is insane. So fun camera though. But let's talk about the X100VI. So the problem with the X100VI is that, well, I'll show you. On Adorama, the used ones are selling for $2,200, and the brand new ones are selling for $1,799. So that's well, it's $329 difference. I did the math. I remember that. And therein lies the problem, right? Because whenever any X100VIs come in stock, even people who would never intend to use the cameras are going to buy them because they can turn around, list it for $200, $300, $400, $500 more, and sell them, and make $200, $300, $400, $500 real quick. So it's a weird situation. I've never seen that before with camera equipment. And so you now, the astute person of camera purchasing intelligence would say, well, yeah, the reason for that is because they're never available new, they're always out of stock, and so people will pay the used price in order to get one, $300, $400 premium in order just to have one, even if it's used. Well, that's true, except that sometimes they are in stock. And last night, I was fooling around at Adorama, and I check every once in a while, and lo and behold, silver X100VIs were in stock, and I ordered one, and it'll be here Tuesday. Free overnight shipping, but because of the holiday, etc. It'll ship today. It shipped today already. The first next business day is Tuesday. So I got myself an X100VI. Did I really want an X100VI? Well, I'll put it to you this way. If there wasn't this ridiculous, like if I couldn't just flip it and make $200 to $400 on it instantly, I probably wouldn't buy one. It's a camera I'm interested in, and I had the X100S and I liked it. And I'm sure an X100VI is, might be fun. But when you consider the fact that I can buy the camera, keep it for a few months, play with it, use it, see how I get on with it, and then make $200 or $300 off of it, yeah, and that's coming from a person who likes cameras and who likes Fuji and is into Fuji, okay? The fact that the camera is worth more used than I'm paying for it new makes me say, yeah, go ahead. It's a no harm, no foul purchase, right? I got nothing to lose. But therein lies the problem, right? Because people who could care less about X100VIs are buying as many as they can when they become available. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was probably somebody that put in an order for 5 or 10 of them when they were available last night, and they have no intentions of doing anything with them other than flipping them for a quick profit. I mean, if you bought 10 X100VIs at $17.99 and you sold them for $2,200, you just made $3,000. Okay, I get that, but that's a big problem. And the problem is that people who actually really want the camera to use it and have a need for it or a want for it from a creative standpoint, you know, they can't touch them because they're, you know, people are buying them on speculation, which I did kind of, but I kind of also, I mean, if I really start using the camera a lot, like I'm not going to flip it, I'm not going to sell it, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to use it. So so at 9:30 last night I put my order in, and at 6:28 this morning, probably earlier than that, but that's when I got up and checked, they were all gone already, and they're temporarily on back order until 10:28. So there is that, and that is the big problem with the X100VI, is that it's worth more used than it is new, which is just silly. But it is what it is. And so okay, looking at the specifications of the X100VI, the only two real issues I see with it that were missed opportunities is number one, it's got a 2.5 millimeter jack for the headphones. It looks like it's got some pretty good video specs. I don't know if you can see the screen or not. I don't think it has the X-E5 screen. It's got a nice screen on it. It's a 1.6 million dot screen. So, and that's the screen that the X-E5 should have had. In fairness to Fuji, maybe the fact that the X-E5 screen flips all the way around is why they couldn't do it the 1.6 million dots. I don't know. Maybe. But, and I don't know if the X100, I didn't check it out. It may flip all the way up like the X-E5 screen. But if Fuji could have put the 1.6 million dot screen on the back of the X-E5 for the money they're charging for the X-E5, it would have been better. But the X100VI has a nice screen, 1.6 million dots. And but now you have to have a special cord to do, you know, to plug your microphone into your X100VI, which may or may not be that big a deal. You're probably, just make sure it's in your bag. It's just another thing to worry about, okay? So that's not that big a deal. And in fairness to Fuji, again, the X100 series is a very tiny camera, and now they've got the X processor 5 in it, they've got the 40 megapixel sensor in it, and they put in an IBIS unit, in-body image stabilization. So something tells me the internal real estate on the X100VI is extremely limited, and having a smaller headphone jack might be all that they could get away with, and I get that. This camera doesn't even have a headphone jack, as far as I can tell. It didn't really have video either, though, so there is that. The other thing that I question also about the X100VI is it's a UHS 1 slow memory card slot. Again, in fairness to Fuji, it's a small camera. The internal real estate is probably extremely limited. I would think that a UHS 2 card slot might have not fit. I mean, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, and it's not worth putting in making it a bigger camera. Same thing with the battery. And with the X-E5, for some reason, the battery, that 126 battery, doesn't seem as much of a problem. My X-T3 eats the batteries pretty fast, but it, you know, I don't know. That could be a reason why they didn't put the 1.6 million dot screen on the back of the X-E5, because the X-T3 screen is a zippier screen. I think it's 1.6 million or higher. That could be what eats the batteries. That's a possibility. The viewfinder too. So everything's a compromise. Life's a compromise. Now, I will say that the number one thing that holds me back from using my X100 II or S more is that it takes these really weird tiny batteries. They're never charged because I don't use it very frequently, and I don't really have a batteries for this camera that, you know, are ready to go. that I want to worry about. The lack of a standardized battery in this camera, for me anyway, kind of made me just, I'd just rather, I've always had X-E2s and X-E3s, so I grabbed those because if they took the 126 batteries. So on the X100VI, it's the standard 126 battery. That shouldn't be a problem at all, particularly if you use the optical viewfinder a lot. So there is that. So other than that, the X100VI, I mean, it's got an ISO dial. It's laid out pretty zippy. I did notice the play button moved, but again, that could be from the XE series. But again, that could be an internal, there's not a lot of real estate on that camera. It's a lot smaller than the XE5. So anyway, so the bottom line comes down to, and there are people still waiting to get their XE5s that pre-ordered them, which is, you know, all I can tell you is if you want an XE5 or an X100VI, have your credit card ready and check various places often. I would check Amazon, I would check Best Buy, I would check Adorama, and of course B&H, but B&H is going to be my, you know, that would be my last choice. I believe it or not, I'm off B&H. They've, yeah, customer service let me down once too many times, so no more B&H for me. The other thing that I should mention as a service to my regular watchers and even my new watchers is that, man, I've saved a ton of coin becoming a Adorama VIP Pro member. I didn't realize that, you know, it took me, I was like $50. That's ridiculous. Hell, I've gotten $400 or $500 back on that deal. You get, when you become an Adorama Pro member, and I'm not sponsored by Adorama. I'm not sponsored, this video is not sponsored by Fuji or the X100 or Adorama. Nobody sponsors me. I do have some affiliate links with Amazon, but geez, you know, that pays like 50 cents a month. I mean, it's, you know, I don't even know why I bother. Back to Adorama. So I'm not sponsored by Adorama, but by becoming an Adorama VIP Pro member, it was $49. You get like triple points sometimes and double points on your purchases, and those points add up fast. I mean, all, you know, I'm shopping and all of a sudden I got 20,000 points, which is $200 off your next purchase. Like, holy smokes, that's serious stuff. So if you're buying camera equipment and you're spending some money on some camera equipment, seriously consider the VIP Pro deal with Adorama. That's the way to go. I mean, it's worked out really well for me. I can't say fairer than that. So if you like my content and you like what I have to say and you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe. It's the #1 thing you can do to help out a small channel. And my channel is a small channel, and I appreciate every one of my subscribers. Also, leave a comment. I try to answer all the comments that require an answer, if they ask a question or whatever, or just if I have something to say. And I love hearing from you guys. I learn a lot from everybody too. Your guys' comments are really excellent most of the time. And I really appreciate them. So anyway, please subscribe, and we'll see you out there as soon as it stops being 100 degrees outside, and now it's smoky. So welcome to the end of August. But couple of weeks, the weather's looking awesome. It's starting to get cloudy, rainy, and cooler. Fantastic. That's what I'm looking for. That's the kind of weather I like to photograph in. That's what tickles my fancy, to put it. So, all right, I'm waffling now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out there. Have a great one.